Welcome to another production of ParkTV 16 Sports. We are on location tonight, broadcasting from the home of the Benilde-St. Margaret Red Knights, and their varsity boys baseball team are taking to the diamond against their Metro West rivals, the Bloomington Jefferson Jaguars. And we are about to begin here. It's a beautiful day. I'm Robert Christensen. Glad you're with us for this Metro West contest, and both teams come in with somewhat similar records. Benilde comes in just one game below 500, and the Jaguars come in one game over 500 at 6-5. So Benilde trying to get back to that 500 mark, and of course the Jaguars on the road are going to try to stop them, and we are about to begin here. And leading off for the Jaguars is number 4, Quentin Morris, outfielder. He'll be followed by number 2, Adam Wetmore, or excuse me, it will be Murnane. Let's see, number 4 is leading off for Benilde, or excuse me, for the Jaguars. That is Quentin Morris. He'll be followed by number 1, Zeke Krug. And following him is number 5, Carter Hansen. So it is.
Leading off for the Jaguars, center field number 4, Quentin Morris.
Matt Neighbor is on the mound for Benilde, as we just looked at the outfield, and he is a left-hander, number 2. And we're about to begin here. The right-handed hitting Quentin Morris is up to bat, and that first pitch is high, ball 1. So we're underway here from Benilde. 60-degree weather, light winds blowing out to center field. Just a perfect night for baseball here. And the pitch by Neighbor, and that ball swung on up the middle, scooped up by the shortstop, and the ball gets over just in time for out number 1 here in the top of the first. So good start for Neighbor on the mound for Benilde. He's a junior, gets that first out, and the shortstop, Shipley, made a very smooth play out there at shortstop to record that first out, getting the ball over to number 15, Mccloskey, at first base. So now the next batter for the Jaguars is number 1. And he hits it to the second baseman, who gets it over to the first baseman for out number 2. Number 1, that was Zeke Creek. So 2 quick outs here, and Neighbor working very efficiently. 1 pitch, and now on that second batter, and now stepping in for the Jaguars. Number 5, Carter Hansen, just a sophomore, but batting from the left side. So lefty against lefty here with 2 outs in the top of the first, and that curveball is low. Ball 1 from Neighbor. The sophomore looks at a 1-0 count, and another curveball low in the dirt. So 2-0. The count to Carter Hansen, the number 3 hitter. And that pitch is a strike. Good speed, good velocity on that pitch by Neighbor. Count now 2-1. Pitch on away, strike 2, delayed call by the ump, but it looks like it just caught the corner right at the knees there. Now the count is even at 2-2. Neighbor trying to get out of the top of the first here, 1-2-3. Infield shaded to the right, of course, for the left-handed hitter, and that curveball just misses. Boy, that was close. Count full now, 3-2 to Neighbor. If he reaches, on deck is number 12, Bennett McCullough, another sophomore, the number 4 hitter, and that pitch is low, and he walks him. So the Jaguars get their first base runner with 2 outs here in the top of the first. The number 3 hitter worked that count to 3-2 and got the base on balls. Now stepping in, number 12, Bennett McCullough, the shortstop, another sophomore. Looking to get a rally going here with 2 outs here in the top of the first. They'll hold him on there at first base. First pitch on away, another curveball falls in there for a strike. So good start for Neighbor after giving up that base on balls by getting that strike. Very important psychologically to follow up that 4-ball walk with a strike. Not a big lead at first. And that curveball, very well executed by Matt Neighbor as he got the number 4 hitter flailing at that Mccloskey. So now the count, 2-0. Pitch on away, swung on, fouled sharply to the left side. Mccloskey all over that pitch. Count remains 2, no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs here, top of the first. Stepping in, taking his time, Bennett Mccloskey, the shortstop. Now the pitch from Neighbor. From the stretch, curveball, strikes him out looking. Nice job by Matt Neighbor. 3 outs there in the top of the first. They leave 1 on, and after a half inning, your score is tied at 0. Glad you're with us here from Benilde-St. Margaret's, and next up are the Red Knights in the bottom of the first, and you can expect coming up will be the following players. Leading off, number 12, the shortstop will be Matt Shipley. Shipley is a senior. He'll be followed by Murnane. There's the lineup. Center fielder, number 2, then Evan Brown. So Shipley, Murnane, and Evan Brown to lead it off, and then they'll be followed by Hansberry, Thompson, Rank, Mccloskey, Barr, and Brady Yakish in right field. So now taking to the mound here for the Jaguars, Carter Hansen. He was the 3rd batter. He's a lefty as well, so we have lefty versus lefty. Both teams with pretty even records at 5-5. And over on the side there is Shipley. There you can see the outfield configuration for the Jaguars. There's a good look at Carter Hansen. As he takes his last warm-up pitch, they throw it down to second. We're about to begin underway here. Red Knights first at-bats here in the bottom of the first.
Number 11, Ben Getters, and pitching number 5, Carter Hansen. For the Red Knights, leading off number 12, the shortstop, Harrison Shipley.
So here comes Shipley to lead it off, the senior shortstop, leader of the team, both in position and seniority, and he'll look at pitch number 1. And that pitch inside low, so ball 1 to Shipley. That second pitch, a little high, so 2-0, not a great start for the pitcher, Hansen. And his 3rd delivery is called a strike. So Shipley taking all the way there. Not a bad strategy. Want to make that starting pitcher throw a strike before you start swinging. So now we're set. 1 strike, 2 balls to Shipley. And he swings, and it's up the middle. Slow grounder to the second baseman. He scoops it cleanly and gets it over to the first baseman for out number 1. Good hustle down the field there by the shortstop, Shipley. But not in time. So that's out number 1 here in the bottom of the first. And now stepping up to bat is number 2, Matt Murnane, and there's the replay. Good speed there by Shipley, you almost beat it. And that can happen on this field. This infield, although it looks like it's freshly cut, is very thick grass. We had a lot of rain this week, so it's really greening up, and that ball swung on by Murnane in foul territory and unable to get it. Rushing over there was number 8, Ben Schmidt at first base. Couldn't quite just get up to it. Got kind of a slow jump off the bat. When you're chasing those, you also want to try to decide on the right angle as soon as possible. Get a sense of where that ball is and then take the right angle and then go for it. But unable to catch up to it, so that's a strike. And now that's pitch number 2. 1 strike, 1 ball now, the count to Matt Murnane. Swung on sharply to the third baseman, scooped cleanly, ball over to first base, and nice play there by the third baseman, Ben Bulch, scooping that up like a vacuum cleaner and getting it over to first base. So 2 up and 2 down now here in the bottom of the first, and now up to bat the number 3 hitter, Evan Brown. Brown, the catcher, right-handed hitting. And that first pitch is high, ball 1. So a lot of balls out of Carter Hansen here. And that swung on, fouled straight back by Brown. Another senior. But quickly there are now, count is 1-1 to Evan Brown, and he swings and he hits it well to right center field, and that ball looks like it's gonna be down, and will it get by him? Nicely cut off by the right fielder, and he will hold him to a single. Great hit, but even a great defensive play out there in right field. Great cutting that off, and watch the speed by the right fielder, Matt Thorson, as he catches that on one hop and Stearns and fires it back into the infield. That is an excellent play, folks. Holding the base runner to 1 base, and we do have a pinch runner in there, and that is number 26 for the Red Knights. Pinch running Ben James is that first pitch to the number 4 hitter, Matthew Hansberry, another senior and captain for Andy Judkins' Red Knights here. So that is strike 1, 2 outs, runner on now. Benilde trying to scratch a run across here in the bottom of the first, and that next pitch called a strike. Looked a little low from my vantage point. I'm just to the right of the umpire, almost on a parallel. So now 2 strikes is the count, and he lays off that, ball 1. That ball was high, so good eye by number 5, Matthew Hansberry. Still down in the count though at 1 ball, 2 strikes. Carter Hansen to pitch on away, and there's a steal attempt. The ball is over the head of the second baseman, but backing it up nicely there is the center fielder for the Jaguars, Quentin Morris. Oh, they called him out. I didn't even see that. What was the play there? So something I missed there. I'm not real clear on how come we're not still in this second inning, because that ball went all the way over. Let me see if I can get a clarification. Maybe something happened at the plate. It was a called third strike. I was watching the steal attempt and didn't even pay attention to the umpire's call, so a strikeout ends the inning for Benilde in the bottom of the first, but they leave 1 runner on, nobody across, no errors, and we'll go to the top of the second here from Benilde-St. Margaret's home field, and leading off in the top of the second for the Jaguars will be number 8, Ben Schmidt, the first baseman, followed by Ben Goddard, the catcher, and Jack Mcguire, the second baseman. So Schmidt, Goddard, and Mcguire will lead it off, and they'll be taking on Matt Neighbor, who comes in after pitching a scoreless first inning, and he finishes his warm-up tosses, and we'll be ready to go here in the top of the second inning. We go 7 innings in high school, and it is the Benilde trying to fight to get to 500. I would consider this a very important game for the Red Knights. They've had some rough outings and they've had some good outings. Their last time they played was just this past Tuesday. They beat Cooper twice in a doubleheader, 8-1 and 6-2. So they're on a roll, and that first pitch from Neighbor swung on and fouled off to the right side and out of play. So the count now, one and 0, 1 strike, and that second pitch is swung on to the second baseman. He'll have to hurry, gets it over in time for out number 1 in the top of the second. Nice job there by the second baseman, Rank, getting it over to Mccloskey for out number 1. Scoring at home, that's 4-3. Now stepping in for Jefferson is Ben Godders, the catcher. Or no, excuse me, this is number 8, Ben Schmidt. That was Matt Thorson that batted last time, so now Schmidt steps in. Count now 2-1. Ben Schmidt, pitch on away. Oh, delayed call, but it is a strike. So now 2-1 the count to Ben Schmidt. Matt Neighbor working pretty quickly from the mound. And that pitch on away is low. So 3-1 the count. That's a hitter's pitch. 1 out here, top of the first. Top of the second inning, excuse me. Pitch on away, strike call. That one was much more immediate from the umpire, so he will take his time if he thinks it's close, and he'll think about it. So 3-2 count, and that ball's low, and that is the second walk given up by Matt Neighbor of the evening. So on to first base goes the first baseman, Ben Schmidt. Now coming up is Ben Godders, the catcher, number 11, the lefty, steps in against the lefty, Matt Neighbor. On deck is number 3, Jack Mcguire, the second baseman for the Jaguars. 6-5 record. They're 6-2 in the conference, and they're leading the conference. So this is a big game for Benilde. They're taking on the conference leaders here, Jefferson Jaguars. It's that first pitch, ball 1. So 1-0 the count to Ben Godders. 1 on, 1 out here, top of the second. And that ball swung on foul, just may have caught Godders there in the right foot. Looks like he kind of shaking off the pain there a little bit. Yeah, he's still there thinking about it. That right lead foot, that can be very painful. All right, now he steps in. Count now 1-1 the count. And they got him picked off, and he is out. Great move there by Matt Neighbor, caught him leaning. And that is a huge pickoff for out number 2 in the top of the second. That was, let's see that move again, and you can see he busted him big time. That is nothing more fun than that. What a great move there by Neighbor. So 2 outs, nobody on, and the pitch, strike. Curved that right in there. So 1-2 the count. That obviously was boosted the spirits of the pitcher up there, Neighbor. And another pitch swung on and a slow roller to first base. And this could be trouble if they're not in a hurry. And no, he's safe, and it was trouble. Lack of communication there, and that's where that slow infield really can play a role. As both the pitcher, Neighbor, and the second baseman, Rank got there right at the same time, and actually Rank tried to scoop it with his glove, but he almost collided and slightly did with his pitcher. It looks like everybody's okay, so that's a base hit. Infield base hit. We have a pinch runner now also, number 2 for the Jaguars. Into pinch hit is Adam Wetmune, and so now up to bat is number 3, Jack Mcguire, the second baseman. So with 2 outs and another runner on, Mcguire takes ball 1. He's the number 8 hitter. If he reaches, then Ben Balch is up, the third baseman. For the Jaguars, top of the second here. 2 outs, 1 on. Pitch on away. Swung on and missed. Strike. Good pitch by Neighbor. Swung on, fouled, off to the left side towards the Benilde dugout. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes on that foul. So Matthew Neighbor, the junior pitcher, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right. It might be Knockbor. I'll get a clarification on that, so apologies if I'm butchering his name. 1 ball, 2 strike. Curveball hits him. Big mistake there by Neighbor. And that leads to a second base runner. So now a player in scoring position for the Jaguars. Number 11 at second base suddenly. Ben Goddard. So 2 errors really on Benilde has got them in a little bit of trouble here in the top of the second. And up to bat is the number 9 hitter and the third baseman, Ben Balch, but he takes strike 1. Keep an eye on the pinch runner out there, Adam Wetmoon. He might show that he has some speed here. Base hit could score a run here with 2 outs. That would really hurt the Red Knights here. They want to get out of this inning. Swung on and missed by Balch. Benilde's catcher, Evan Brown, checking the runner there. Almost threw it down there. There's a sun problem, though, at first base. I could see a ball coming right from the catcher. It would be right in his eyes as the sun is setting right in that line. And that ball is hit well to center field. Will he cut it off? No, it's down. And will they score him? And he gets by the center fielder momentarily, and he'll come up easy from second base. Base hit, 2 out, single, scores a run for the Jaguars in the top of the second. And they had 2 outs and nobody on, and what led to that run was a miscue on an infield hit along the first base line that allowed the runner to get to first, and then a hit batsman, and now a clutch base hit by the number 9 hitter, and now we have another 2 runners on, another runner in scoring position. Top of the order for the Jaguars, Quentin Morris steps in, and the right-hander takes strike. That ball looked low. But strike is the call. Now Matt Neighbor working extra hard here in the top of the second. Finds himself down 1-0 on 2 miscues on the defense. And that pitch, strike, curveball. 2 strikes now. No balls, 2 strikes to Quentin Morris. You can see the right fielder. He is fighting the sun out there. He's got his glove up there shielding it, so the sun is really difficult at this hour right now. And that ball swung on to the shortstop. Shipley scoops it up nicely, gets it over first in time, and that retires the side, but not before the Jaguars get 1 on 2 errors and a clutch base hit by their number 9 hitter, Balch. And the score after 1.5 innings, Jaguars 1, Benilde-St. Margaret's coming up to bat in the second inning. And walking out to the mound for the bottom of the second is their pitcher for the Jaguars. Carter Hansen was able to get out of the first inning unscathed with any runs. He did give up a base runner. He'll start his warm-up pitches on a beautiful night here at Benilde-St. Margaret's. The sun is starting to set just behind the school over there. You can see a good crowd on hand. Light breeze out to center field. Lights are now on as it's going to get darker here soon. I'm Robert Christensen. Glad you're with us watching this great baseball action in the Metro West Conference. Conference leading Jaguars taking on Benilde-St. Margaret's. And Bloomington, let's see here, the Jaguars are 4-5 in the conference, 6-5 overall, and Benilde-St. Margaret's is 2-4 in the conference. So if they want to get back in the conference race, they need a solid performance tonight. And now they will step in to start the second, and leading it off in the second for the Benilde-St. Margaret Red Knights is the number 5 hitter, Thompson, the third baseman. So Carter Hansen will face Thompson to lead off the bottom of the second. That first pitch called a strike, so Carter Hansen off to a good start. Just a sophomore, and the lefty misses, ball 1. 1-1 the count. And the pitch on the way is a base hit down the line, and that could be for extra bases as he'll round first base and he'll go for 2. And here comes the throw, and no, he does hold up at the last second. I thought he was going for sure. Nice, sharply hit ball by Thompson, the third baseman. Nice job by Thompson, number 28, junior William Thompson. Now the number 2 hitter with no outs and a runner on. So great start here in the bottom of the second. And in steps number 4, Nicholas Rink, the junior second baseman, and that pitch is high. Kind of sailed on Carter Hansen. We'll see if he starts to develop any control problems here. Good lead out there off of first. And that ball swung on and fouled straight back into the parking lot. Looks like the cars are safe. So 1-1 the count here, nobody out. William Thompson led off with a beautiful hit sharply right down the line. And now he goes, and no throw as the catcher had trouble getting the ball out of his mitt and dropped it. So in with a steal is number 28, William Thompson, and now the Red Knights. And there's that great camera angle as he comes standing up and pulls into second base. So now we have a runner in scoring position for the first time tonight for the Red Knights with nobody on, and that pitch is a strike. Nicholas Rink knew it, and now he's in a hole. Or the count is tied 2-2. Base hit would likely score a run here. And that pitch is swung out, and that's a base hit to right center field. Picked up nicely by Balch, and he gets that ball in a hurry. That right fielder is an impressive athlete out there, folks, for Jefferson. Really fast, and he has a big arm. Ben Balch, my goodness. So the runner on second, Thompson, advances to third, though, on that beautiful hit by Rink. And so runners at first and third, nobody out, and the Red Knights really threatening here as Mccloskey, the first baseman, steps in. Pitch on away, strike call. There was some pace on that ball. You could hear the sound in the catcher's mitt. Give you some idea how hard that ball was, and that was a big-time strike there by Hansen after giving up that base hit. He delivers quickly, and that ball swung on, and it's at the shortstop. The runner will score, and the fielder's choice gets it over to first base to record the out, but not before Benilde scores on the fielder's choice. Coming into score is William Thompson, and we're tied at 1. And we have 1 out and a runner in scoring position as Rink advanced to second base as the shortstop chose to go for the force out at 1, and now stepping in to bat for Benilde is number 10, Ian Barr, the senior, and Barr takes ball 1. You can see from that angle, and what a great angle that is. High, right at the eye level. It's a good shot of Ian Barr. And that ball sounds really good and right to the shortstop, and he gets it over to first baseman and records the out. Ooh, some people didn't agree with that call. It didn't look like it was that close to me, but maybe upon review, it might be closer. But he is thrown out at first base. Oh, now they're gonna call him safe. Let's see what happened here. Here's the replay, it's swung on. Shortstop picks it up, gets it over, draws him off the base. And they're gonna say he pulled his foot. From that angle, it looked like he was out, and no, he is out now. That is the call, he is declared out. So now that's the second out, but a runner on third, and that first pitch is swung on by number 7, Brady Yakish, and the 9th grader ends the inning with a pop fly, but not before Benilde gets a tying run. And after 2 complete from Benilde-St. Margaret's, the score is 1-1. Jaguars coming up the bat on the top of the third. Matthew Neighbor out there as we're going to begin the top of the third. Starting his warm-up pitches, and due up for Bloomington is the number 2 hitter, Zeke Krug, the left fielder, excuse me, followed by the pitcher Carter Hansen. He's the number 3 hitter, and then Bennett McCollum, the shortstop. So hitters 2, 3, and 4 due up for the Jaguars against Neighbor on the mound as he comes out to pitch the third. He struggled a little bit. His last time out, they had a hit batsman and an error in the infield, which led to a run on a base hit. And that's how we're tied at 1 here. And Zeke Krug is batting .417, so one of the better hitters for the Jaguars. He takes ball 1, so 1-0 to Krug. Pitch on away by Neighbor, swung on and missed. That was a big heat there by the left-hander there, number 21 Neighbor. He works very quickly from the windup. Taking his time is Zeke Krug. As he looks at another pitch and swings and misses at that one, and now Neighbor in control. 2 strikes, 1 ball. Top of the third inning. Krug now finally steps in. Neighbor waiting patiently on the mound. Now he'll begin his windup, pitch on away. Swung on and fouled straight back into the screen. So count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes. And that ball way outside. Tried to throw the curveball. Kind of lost his grip, it looked like to me. But he was looking to waste a pitch here, I believe, as well, to Krug. So now the count is even, 2-2, nobody out. Top of the third, pitch on away. Swung on, fouled high and out of play into the parking lot. Hopefully nobody parked their cars too close to that sideline. On the left sideline along left field, it's the school. There's no cars over there, but there's a lot of cars on the first base side of the infield and out to the outfield. Okay, now we'll start again here. Count remains 2-2. Pitch on away. Swung on, the curveball. It just gets his bat on it, and we could have some communication problems again, but this time they figured it out as Rink gets it over to Mccloskey to record out number 1. So much better job with that slow roller. And that was a little easier, there's a little more pace on it. Krug had some speed there, and look at Mccloskey making sure he gets his foot on the base, then looking for the ball. Did that very, very well. That is always tough. If your foot's not on the bag, then you can't, catching it isn't gonna matter. So he took his time, put his foot down, then looked for the ball, and it got there, out number 1. Now stepping in is the pitcher for the Jaguars, and he swings at that first pitch, and that ball is caught by right fielder for the Red Knights. That's Yakish out there fighting that sun off, and that is not easy, folks. That was right in his eyes. I'll bet he didn't see that ball as it went right into his glove. When you see that, it comes and then it disappears in the sun, and you guess at where it is based on where you last saw it. Great play there by Yakish to record that out. Now quickly, there's 2 outs here in the top of the third, so Neighbor having his best innings so far. If he can get this third batter to go 1-2-3 here in the top of the third, be a nice reversal of what his fortunes were in inning number 2, and that ball swung on, hit well to right field. It might have a chance as it carries, and it is down against the wall, and he'll go for 3, or will he stay at 2? Nope, he holds up at 2, and there the sun and all that room out there in right field caused trouble for Yakish. And that is a big-time double by number 12 for the Jaguars. Bennett McCollum just drills that ball and just got the Yakish, was turned all the way around and down on the ground. He did a nice job getting up and getting that ball back in to keep him to a double. So now suddenly the Jaguars with 2 outs have a rally going. Runner on second in McCollum, and up now is Matt Thorson. Or Ben Gardner's number 11, excuse me, or no, number 10, yeah, Matt Thorson, the right fielder. He's a heck of an athlete out there in right field, so I look for him to do some damage at the plate as well. Nice looking player here. Somebody to keep an eye on as we go through the high school years. He really looks good. And he takes a strike there. So chance here for Benilde to get a go-ahead run here with 2 outs with nobody on, and now they got a guy on second there, and McCullum on the big-time double, now up. The impressive right fielder, number 10, Matt Thompson, the junior. And that ball is low. Count 2-2, so good eye by Thompson, who also is a pitcher for the Jaguars. The 2-2 pitch outside. That umpire looked at it very closely, and the throw down to second to try to pick off McCullum. Not in time, but close play nevertheless. Almost caught him off base. That would have been the second pickoff for the Red Knights. But now we go back 2-2 count in the dirt. It gets by, and he doesn't go. McCullum thought about going to third, but the ball did not get away far enough from the catcher, Evan Brown. And Brown is not afraid to throw the ball around. He's a senior, and you can understand why. Here's that replay as the ball gets away, way inside, and that's also a base on balls. So Thorson walks, and that brings up Ben Schmidt, number 8. So 2 outs and now 2 runners on. That first pitch to Schmidt is a ball, so 1-0 the count, and that ball swung on right to the center fielders. He comes up and makes the play, and they get out of the inning here in the top of the third. Jaguars get 2 base runners, but unable to push it across, and that ends the top of the third for the Jaguars. And after 2.5, our score remains tied at 1 from Benilde-St. Margaret's, and they'll be coming up here in inning number 3 to try to get a lead. Can't have a more even game than that. Each team with a run apiece and 3 hits apiece. And there are a couple errors I would count there, but I don't know if we're keeping track. I'm looking out in the outfield, and they have not awarded anybody with any errors. So, well, I guess that infield hit probably wasn't an error. It was just, well-placed infield hit. I can see that. So, but then there was the wild pitch that led to a run as well. So that might be considered an error. But nevertheless, the official box score is 1 run apiece, 3 hits apiece, no errors. And coming out there to take his warm-up pitchers is the starting pitcher, Carter Hansen, the sophomore. So far pitching very well. Both pitchers are pitching very well and very evenly, 3 hits apiece. Due up for Benilde here in their bottom of the third. Is expected to be the top of the order. Shipley, followed by Murnane, followed by Brown. So Harrison Shipley leads it off, the senior shortstop. Gonna try to get something going here for the Red Knights in the bottom of the third against Carter Hansen, and we're about to begin. Sun still causing problems out there in right field. I can see Thorson, the right fielder for the Jaguar, has his hand up there. And that first pitch is low from Hansen to Shipley, so 1-0 the count. Still light breezes, 60 degrees, just beautiful day here in St. Louis Park. Really greening up here finally in the spring. That pitch is ball 2, so 2-0 to count. Hansen not off to a great start. Shipley looking at a 2-0 pitch now. Nobody out here. And he takes a pitch there. Yep, he nods. Yep, I agree. Yep, he was taken all the way, making him throw a strike. So the 2-1 delivery from Carter Hansen. And that pitch is swung on, and that's belted down the line. And that gets by the left fielder, and Shipley is off to the races. Will he round 2 and go to 3? I think he'll pull up with an easy stand-up double. Harrison Shipley, a huge round of applause here at the home field of the Red Knights. And watch this stroke, folks. That is hit on a frozen rope, as they say, and that ball got out of the infield quickly. The left fielder for Jefferson Zeke Krug did not read that pitch very well, and he was playing well off the line there, as he is right now. And kind of shallow, and allowed Shipley to burn him there down the line almost. It wasn't even that close down the line. He just hit that ball a ton. I don't know, they talk about velocity exits. That ball was out of the infield in a hurry, which allowed him to get to that stand-up double easily. Okay, now Murnane up with a runner on, nobody out, bottom of the third. Benilde threatening. Pitch on away, outside. 2 balls, no strikes. So Carter Hansen falling behind in the count on the first 2 batters here in the bottom of the third, and starting to feel like the Red Knights are going to start to tee off here on Hansen. You're starting to get that feeling. I am, and that ball is hit well, and that ball just eludes the second baseman for Jefferson, Mcguire, as he dives and couldn't make the catch. And now that's 2 consecutive hits for the Red Knights in the bottom of the third, and that brings up the number 3 hitter, Evan Brown, the catcher. So runners on first and third. Shipley advanced to third on the base hit. So with nobody out, runners on first and third. Carter Hansen now in trouble here in the bottom of the third. Having trouble. That's what happens when you get behind the hitters in the count, and that's another ball to lead off this third hitter. Looking down to see if anybody's going to start warming up in the Jaguar bullpen. So far, I don't see anybody just yet. Might be a little premature, but something a manager might start thinking about here if Hansen doesn't get an out here soon, and he does throw a strike there. So he's off to a better start as he evens the count at 1 to the number 3 hitter, Brown. On deck is Hansberry, the left fielder. Delivery, strike call. Now Hansen in control here, and he needs a strikeout here or an easy out to try to stem the momentum. Brown not looking as confident as before at the plate. Looks at a 1-2 pitch and a curveball and hangs in there, and that ball does just go foul. Nice job there by Brown, keeping himself alive. Count remains 1-2. That's a great skill to have, folks, if you got a 2 strikes on you, if you can just foul off some balls to just hang in there until you can get your pitch. Extend that at bat, make that pitcher work for it. Sooner or later, he'll give you an easy one to hit. Let's see what happens here. He swung on and he went after that. That ball straight up high in the air, and Hansen will handle it. Those are not always easy to handle with that mound and the uneven ground, but Hansen does a nice job concentrating. And it's also kind of hard to see the ball in this really deep blue sky. And it's getting to be dusk a little bit, so eyesight visibility can be tough. So that is out number 1 though, as Hansen records that out single-handedly on the pop-up. So runners remain at first and third, 1 out, and up to bat for Benilde is number 5, Taylor Hansberry, the left fielder, and he takes a big cut at that first pitch, and he's now in a hole at 0-1. Still only 1 out. Doesn't look like there's any huge threat to steal. On first there by number 7, Hansberry. And that swung on, and there is the steal. I kind of was wondering when that was going to happen, and that's exactly what happened. So Murnane takes second on the steal. However, it is now no balls and 2 strikes to Hansberry. So this is a critical juncture in the game, in my opinion, because a base hit scores 2 runs, gives the Red Knights a 2-run lead, or they could record an out, and that ball is high. So there's still only 1 out, so the only play on an infield hit is to first base, and the infield, as I look out, is playing in to cut off that runner at second base. Excellent opportunity here for the Red Knights. 1-2 count. Out. Oh, they call him out on strikes. Good pitch by Hansen in a clutch time. As he gets that second out. What a strikeout there for the junior pitcher for the Jaguars. Coming up big there, but still the threat is there. Runners on second and third, 2 outs now, and up to bat is number 28, William Thompson. And he's had success earlier tonight in his first at bat. And he takes ball 1. So the Jaguars, after being in trouble here with runners on first and third and nobody out, trying to strand 2 in scoring position, and a big, took something off that one. That was a big changeup by Carter Hansen, the sophomore, really starting to show some smart pitching here. Really creative, keeping these Benilde batters off balance, and that pitch outside. So 2-1 to count. To William Thompson, the junior. Third baseman could really strike a blow here to the Jaguars with a base hit right now, and he takes high. There's some heat on that. So now it's 3-1, 2 outs. This is a hitter's pitch here, folks, maybe. Because there is an open base at first, so nothing would be hurt here with a walk. And then he'd be facing the second baseman, Rank, who has a base hit already tonight as well. And that ball's a curveball inside, and he takes ball 4, so now that loads him up with 2 outs. And now the pressure is going to be on this young Jaguars pitcher, Hansen. See how he responds with bases jammed, bottom of the third. 2 outs, and now Rank steps in with a chance to really do some damage in the home half of the third. Pitch on away from Hansen is high, ball 1. 1-0 the count. Nicholas Rank, the junior, looks in, strike at the letters. No objection from Rank, so count 1-1. Jaguar infield at regular depth. With the 2 outs, that pitch is swung on and fouled back. Out of play, so now 2 strikes to Rank. If you're putting yourself in Carter Hansen, the pitcher's shoes, he's so close to getting out of the inning, and it would be a huge momentum boost for the Jaguars if they can escape without giving a run after having first and third and 2 outs. That ball swung on, the curveball fools Rank, and he strikes him out for out number 3, and he saves the inning. No runs for the Red Knights. They threaten but do not score in their bottom of the third, and we'll go to the top of the 4th with your score tied at 1. Great matchup here. Benilde gets 2 extra hits, but unable to capitalize as Cole Hansen shuts the door on Rank for out number 3, and coming out to pitch the top of the 4th is the starting pitcher, the very impressive Matthew Knockbor, or not Matthew Neighbor. Let me see if I can get a pronunciation on that. Neighbor, as in Jim Neighbors from Gomer Pyle. Everybody remembers that old show from many, many years ago, decades ago. Looking around, the sun's still starting to descend behind the Benilde campus facility, the building that goes along the left field line and the third base line, and that sun is now no longer affecting the right fielder, Yakish. Brady Yakish, just a freshman out there. Center fielder might be inhibited just a little bit. He's going to be standing right there on the shadow, and it looks like the left field is pretty clear. Lights are on, sun is setting. It's getting a little chillier, but still a beautiful day. Although chilly for this time of year, we're still below normal temperatures. I think I saw on the weather report that the normal temp should be, the average should be 68. And I think we got to maybe 60 today, mid 50s. So still on the chilly side here for first part of May as we begin the 4th inning, and the first pitch by Neighbor called ball 1. Stepping into bat for the Jaguars is Ben Goddard's the catcher. And for the top half of the 3rd, Goddard's will be followed by the number 8 hitter, Jack Mcguire, and then number 14, the 9 hitter, Ben Balch. So Goddard's, Mcguire, and Balch. And the lefty is looking at 2 balls, no strikes, fouls that high and just out of play to the left of home plate. Ball's harmlessly to the ground, and now we get a new ball in there to Neighbor, and the count now 2-1, nobody out. Ben Goddard's up to bat, and he swings, and he fouls that also off to the left side and towards the building on the dugout of Benilde. Almost hit our camera guy up there. It can be a dangerous job. These guys are on the dugouts, sometimes in terrible weather, wind. All to bring you these great images here from Benilde-St. Margaret's on ParkTV 16 Sports. Glad you're with us as we look at the 2-2 pitch with no outs, and he steps out. That's Goddard's, that is. So, Neighbor taking a little extra time, waving off the signs, and finally Goddard's just said, I'm not gonna wait anymore, and now he swings and stays alive. Count remains 2-2. Looking out at center field, there's basically no wind here. Very light breezes now. So nothing's gonna be wind aided or hampered to balls to the outfield. So if they hit one to the fence, it's gonna be well deserved tonight. And that curveball, he does not ring him up. That might have just missed. If I'm reading this umpire's body language, he does think about him for a second. He was thinking about that one. So now the count is full here. And that's swung on and hit right to Rank. He scoops it up, no problem. Over to Mccloskey for out number 1. Another 4-3 play and a good start for Neighbor, although he did get stretched to a full count. Looking at both bullpens, doesn't appear anybody is up and warming up, so both teams still content with their starters. Now stepping into bat, Jack Mcguire, the second baseman. And now he steps back. Neighbor takes the mound, looks in for the sign. It's a good shot of Jack Mcguire, the second baseman. He takes ball 1 and high. Yeah, Neighbor disgusted with himself on that pitch. And he wastes no time stepping on that rubber, folks, and win the windup. Pitch on away, doesn't want to give that batter any time to get comfortable. And that ball in foul territory. They've had trouble with that play before, and it does drop. And it was in play. My angle is very poor down that line looking through the fence, and I thought that was going to be out of play, but let's look at the replay, and it looks like it dropped in there. Boy, that is not a good play by Benilde. That ball needs to be played. Let's see here. Did he touch it? And it, boy, they just toy. Yeah, there it is, right inside the line. Yakish, you know, the sun may have impacted Yakish from not getting a good start, but that should be his play. But he might have lost it. That sun is still just kind of hovering above the building out there in right field. So that is the result of the first hitter. He's on first base, Goddard's, and now up is, or excuse me, there's 1 out, and that was Jack Mcguire on first with that base hit. They'll give that a base hit. Now Ben Balch is up. Number 14 as they try to pick-off move on Mcguire. Look at that great move by Neighbor. He is really good. Those lefties always have the advantage. Diving back was Jack Mcguire. So 1 out, 1 on here. Ben Balch, and then the top of the order with Quentin Morris on deck. And there's the steal, early steal, and the throw down. The second base is in time, but Shipley unable to handle as it scoots into center field. So stolen base by Jack Mcguire, and he looks a little hurt. Is he slow and stepping up, or is he just, yeah, let's see. He might have banged his elbow or something. And there he goes early. And let's see the head first slide. Ball gets there way in time, and Shipley just unable to handle it. And it looks like he maybe just strained something, but I think he's going to be okay. Now he takes a lead on second. And the pitch on away right to the third baseman. And that ball gets over to Mccloskey. Nice play there by Benilde, third baseman. Thompson. Nice play over there at third base, gunning it out, gunning him over. And the second runner on second base stays on second, Mcguire. So now we have 2 outs in the top of the 4th. Mcguire on second and up to bat is Quentin Morris, the center fielder. He takes ball one, so 1-0 the count. If he reaches, Zach Krug, the left fielder, on deck. Chance for the Jaguars to try to get a run here with 2 outs here in the top half of the fourth, and they hit it to the right side of the infield. Mccloskey scoops it up back in, and he takes it unassisted and beats Morris to the bag to record out number 3. And that will retire the Jaguars in the top of the third. They threaten once again, but do not score. Look at the race there to the base as he gets that third out, Mccloskey. And we'll go to the bottom of the fourth. You're watching ParkTV 16 Sports from Benilde-St. Margaret's. Our score after 3.5, 1-1. Hasn't been any scoring since the second inning. Both teams got a run across. Otherwise, it's been goose eggs all around since the second. And coming out to pitch the bottom of the fourth, having gone the whole way, is Carter Hansen, the sophomore pitcher. Got himself out of a big jam there as we watch some of the players staying loose and warm. They do little jogs along the sideline. The reserves never know when they'll be called upon. They just want to stay warm and ready. Taking a jog down the line as their manager comes over, Jim Guess. Offers some words of encouragement. Carter Hansen out taking his warm-up pitches. And we should be getting underway here soon. And leading off for Benilde in their half of the fourth is number 15, Mccloskey, the first baseman who just made that great play at first base. So we'll see if the adrenaline from making that play will carry over into this at-bat. In my experience, that can oftentimes happen. So Hansen, the lefty, to the right-hander. First baseman, Mccloskey, the number 7 hitter, and he takes strike one. Boy, that looked a little low to me from my vantage point. And the 1-strike pitch, strike 2. Mccloskey swung on that. It looked like he may have just gotten a little piece of it. So now in a hole here to lead off the bottom of the fourth is Logan Mccloskey, the senior first baseman, trying to get something going for his team. Takes ball one. So good eye by Mccloskey. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The 1-2 delivery from Hansen, swung on and missed, but he'll try to make it at first as they try to throw him out on that drop third strike, and he makes it. So the pass ball, if you got to catch the third strike. If you don't catch the third strike, you got to throw him out at first. And taking advantage of the backstop here, which is quite a distance away, more than a lot of other baseball fields I've been to in this high school league. So unable to get back there in time is the catcher for the Jaguars, Ben Goddard. So now the leadoff runner on when it should have been a strikeout really hurts Hansen here and the Jaguars in the bottom of the fourth. So runner on, and now ball one to Ian Barr, the DH. Trying to get a hit here to keep the rally going. He takes strike one. So 1-1 the count as Taylor Hansen gets back into the count there. Gutsy pitcher. Both these pitchers tonight are pitching very well, very impressive left-handers. And there's lays down the bunt to advance Mccloskey, and he will do so successfully as Hansen fields it and fires a strike over to his first baseman. Ben Schmidt taking that ball in, so that records out number 1, but Mccloskey advances on the fielder's choice, and now we'll have a pinch runner for Mccloskey coming in for the Red Knights. Pinch running is number 9, Michael Schmidt, a senior. Will try to be the go-ahead run here in the bottom of the fourth. Real pitcher's duel going on, and with 1 out, stepping into bat is Brady Yakish, the right fielder. And just looking at Michael Schmidt, he looks like he has some speed out there. Just looking how fast he got back to second base, it was noticeable. So I would expect a good base hit here would score him with 1 out in the bottom of the 4th. Yakish, and now the pickoff move, no one there. Are they gonna call that a balk? I think they're thinking about it. And here comes the shortstop, so a lack of communication, no one was there. And if you're watching, here's a great look at this replay. And so there's a signals, and there was a missed signal. There's a unspoken signal between the pitcher and either the second baseman or the shortstop on plays like that, and that's why they had to come in and talk about it, get their sign straight. Meanwhile, that next pitch by Carter Hansen called a strike, so now 1-1, 1 out to Yakish. And he almost went for that pitch in the dirt, but he did hold off nicely. Good eye by Brady Yakish. Just a freshman up there, showing great patience and maturity at the plate. Looks at a 2-1 delivery. And that swung on and hit out to Krug. He comes in and he makes the catch. They called him out and they throw back to second base, not in time. As Mike Schmidt gets back. Boy, that Krug just barely got his glove underneath that ball. Kind of a soft liner as he comes sliding in there and he does scoop it up. Great catch by Krug and he almost guns him out. Schmidt at second base. The ball was there in time, but the receiver, the second baseman covering, number 3, unable to be in a position to put the tag on. It would have been a close play. So now 2 outs here, runner still in scoring position and stepping into bat for the Red Knights is the top of the order, Harrison Shipley. He had a nice hit down the line, left field last time up. He looks at it, a no ball, 1 strike. He fouls, it's gonna be just out of play and over the Jaguar dugout. So now no balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Harrison Shipley finds himself in a hole, but a chance to get the lead for his team with a solid base hit here against Carter Hansen, the sophomore pitcher for the Jaguars, having a great night on the mound, trying to get out of the 4th here. Pitch on a way, curveball. Boy, Shipley saw that all the way. He was way out in front of that. He knows it too. He should have been just tried to be a little more patient, but boy, when that ball, he hung that curveball, and Shipley was all over that mistake pitch by Hansen. Hansen got away with one, and so the count remains 0-2. I doubt he'll come back with that curveball. 2-strike pitch. I look for a fastball out of the strike zone. And there it is, fastball out of the strike zone. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Second baseman for the Jaguars, Jack Mcguire, holding on. Michael Schmidt, the runner for Benilde, on second base. Then he gets back into position. Pitch on away from Hansen, outside. So now Shipley, the smart senior shortstop, gets back into the count and evens it at 2-2. So critical pitch coming up here in a critical part of the ball game. We're about midway through. Score tied at 1, 2 outs. Hansen with the 2-2 delivery, curveball just misses. Boy, the umpire, he looked at that for quite a while. You can see he really wears his thoughts on his sleeve, so to speak, because he'll hold that position as he's crouched behind home plate. It's good, it's fun to watch, actually. So now the count is full with 2 outs. Michael Schmidt should be running on the pitch. Strikes him out looking. Curveball by Carter Hansen as he strolls off the mound as he ends the bottom half of the 4th for the Red Knights. No runs across, and after 4 complete, our score is tied at 1-1 in this Metro West contest. And coming out to the mound is the starter for Benilde, Matthew Neighbor. And he'll take his warm-up pitches. Jaguars have a meeting over to the side. Hey, folks, there I am. Nice to see you folks here watching on ParkTV 16 Sports. Great night here for baseball in St. Louis Park in early May. Metro West varsity baseball action. And due up for the Jaguars will be the left fielder who had that nice play out in left field, Zeke Krug, number 1. He'll be followed by the pitcher, Carter Hansen, and then the shortstop, Bennett McCollum. So hitters 2, 3, and 4 to start off the top of the 5th for the Jaguars. And now here comes Krug into the batter's box. The throw down to second base complete, and we're ready to go here in the top of the 5th. 3 innings to go. Score tied at 1. If you're just joining us, you're getting treated to a great pitcher's duel as we look at the Jefferson schedule coming up. This will be their 3rd road game in a row, and then they've got a bunch at home. But right now, they're living in the present moment, and the only thing that matters is this match right here. Jaguars 6-2 conference record. Trying to get a road win against the Red Knights, and that first pitch, a curveball by Neighbor, fools Krug, and now no balls, 1 strike to the number 2 hitter, left fielder, Zeke Krug. Pitch on away, swung on, and foul, no, out of the right side, and just a slow blooper right to the second baseman. Easy put out there.
Pitcher, number 5, Carter Hansen.
Nice job there by Nicholas Rink, the junior, records out number 1, and now the pitcher, Carter Hansen, the lefty, against the lefty Mccloskey, or excuse me, the lefty Neighbor, sorry. And Neighbor throws a lot of heat there, and strike 1 at the letters. On deck is the number 4 hitter for the Jaguars, number 12, Bennett McCollum. But first, Carter Hansen takes strike 2. So Matthew Neighbor cruising here in the top of the 5th. Quickly up 2 strikes here on Carter Hansen. Pitch on away, high. Ball 1 out of the strike zone, so 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hansen. Pitch on away, curveball, and Hansen digs for it, and the 3rd baseman for Benilde nicely picks it up. That's Thompson, gets it over to the 1st baseman, and we do have a substitute in there at 1st base, I just noticed. And that is number 19 taking that, Johnny Wolford. Number 10, or excuse me, number 19 there. He's a sophomore, so Johnny Woodford in for Mccloskey, which sort of surprises me. I'll look to see, did they put him somewhere else and maybe take out someone else? Doesn't look like it, so I don't know if he was injured or what, or just a strategic decision by the manager, but that is strike 1 to Bennett McCollum. So 2 outs here and 1 strike for Matt Neighbor, and he seems to be getting stronger as the game is going on here in the 5th, and he throws that curveball, and laying off of it was McCollum. So good eye by McCollum, number 4 hitter. Count 1 ball, 1 strike. 2 outs here, top of the 5th. Pitch on away, curveball, strike. That just looked like a strike, and I'm not, at my vantage point, I am not in a good position to see that, but it just felt, it looked like that was a good pitch, and now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Matthew Neighbor trying to go 1, 2, 3 in the top of the 5th. Pitch on away, swung on towards 1st base, just foul. Infield umpire over there on the line. Kind of a half swing there by McCollum. Number 12, sophomore shortstop, having a nice game himself, but finds himself in a hole, and that ball goes right over Bull Durham style. Didn't hit the mascot, thankfully, but that ball really slipped out of his hands. I don't know if that's, the temperature's dropping a little, although I wouldn't say significantly. It just slipped out of his hand, maybe trying an extra sharp curveball, but now the count, McCollum has worked back into it, 2-2, and another curveball, and he hangs in there, fouls it off just barely, gets a piece of it to stay alive. Good piece of hitting there by Bennett McCollum. Trying to prolong the inning. If he should reach, Matt Thompson, the junior, would be up next. 9 hits total in this match, 4 for the Jaguars, 5 for the Red Knights. Score tied at 1, and that curveball swung on and just hops the glove of the third baseman, number 28, William Thompson. It was struck hard, and now we got a problem in the infield. Ball gets away from the pitcher, and taking second base very alertly was Thompson. Or McCullum, the shortstop, recognizing that there's another little error that now puts McCullum in scoring position with 2 outs and making this inning much tougher than it should be. That ball probably should have been fielded, but it was well hit. So we'll call that a base hit, and let's see what happens on the relay. I guess we lost it there, but the ball got away on that ball in and taking advantage. Those are the little things that help you win games, and now that ball struck back really well, but over the center fielder. Matt Murnane saves the day, but not before they get a hit and no runs. And after 4.5 innings, the score remains tied at 1, but both teams have 5 hits. Here's the relay, and it came in and got away from the infielder. But it's all for naught as they were unable to push that runner across on that last hit by the Jaguars. So after 4.5 innings, our score is tied at 1, and coming out to pitch the bottom of the 5th is the starter. He's pitching very well for the Jaguars, Carter Hansen. And it's not really a surprise as we look at some of the fans enjoying a picnic-style vantage point along the right field line. Behind the fence there, relaxing on a Friday evening in St. Louis Park at Benilde-St. Margaret's. ParkTV 16 Sports is on location, bringing you this great varsity baseball action in the Metro West Conference. Due up for the Red Knights in their half of the 5th inning will be number 2, Matt Murnane, who made that great catch out there in center field. That ball at first I thought was hit well and was going to be in the gap, but Murnane got over there and saved a go-ahead run for sure. And now Carter Hansen throws this last warm-up pitch here to start the bottom of the 5th. They throw it down, and now stepping in is number 2, the center fielder, Matt Murnane. So he's the number 2 hitter. He'll be followed by Brown, the catcher, who's the number 3 hitter, and then Hansberry, the left fielder. So hitters 2, 3, and 4, Murnane, Brown, and Hansberry to face Carter Hansen as he delivers ball 1. So ball 1 to Murnane. And the second pitch, he evens the count at 1. So 1-1 the count. Hansen, the left-hander, wheels and throws, and swung on and fouled straight back. So Murnane on that pitch, his timing is perfect. Just missed it. But that leads to him being now in a hole at 1-2. And the 1-2 delivery, curveball swung on and hit right on the button, but unfortunately for Murnane, it was right to the center fielder, Quentin Morris. He hardly had to move. But that ball was hit right on the button. So that records out number 1 in the bottom of the 5th. Carter Hansen, the sophomore pitcher, off to a good start here in the 5th inning. And he'll face number 22, Evan Brown, the catcher. And the pitch in the dirt and hit him. And he's gonna get a base on balls. Hansen shakes his head. I'm sure he did not want that to happen, but it did hit the dirt and then went right to his foot. So that's a base runner, and we're gonna have a pinch hitter for Evan Brown, the catcher. And coming in to run is number 26, Ben James, the freshman. So they're gonna try to take advantage with 1 out here as Matthew Hansberry steps in, the number 4 hitter. 1 out and a runner on here. And Hansen delivers. First pitch swung on, Schroll over to the shortstop. He forces out the second. And the throw to first base gets by the first baseman, but holding up there at first will be Hansberry. So on the fielder's choice, McCollum, the shortstop, got it over to the second baseman, Rink, to force out the base runner at second base and to record the second out. So good job there. A little late on the relay to first. So now the Red Knights have number 5. Thompson on first base, and he'll try to steal second, and the throw is not going to happen, and he successfully gets in a scoring position. So Benilde-St. Margaret showing speed on the base paths with Hansberry stealing second base easily, setting up a scoring run position here for number 28, William Thompson, the junior, a chance to take the lead with a base hit here, and he takes ball 2. So now a little bit of trouble for Taylor Hansen, the pitcher for Carter Hansen, excuse me. From the stretch, 2 balls, no strikes. And the pickoff attempt at second, not in time. Getting back easily there was number 5, or Taylor Hansberry, I should say, Matthew Hansberry. So Carter Hansen with the 2-0 count, delivers, and strike call. Good pitch by Carter Hansen as he tries to get out of the 5th inning here without giving up a run. There's a good look at Carter Hansen, the sophomore lefty, delivers. 2 balls, 1 strike, and swinging and missing. Big cut there. Taken by William Thompson, the 3rd baseman. And now the count is even at 2 with 2 outs and a runner on second. From the stretch, Carter Hansen looks, deals, swings, and he's out. Caught, 3rd strike. Oh, now they're gonna go, and he does tag him out finally, so that does make it official for sure. And a strikeout for Carter Hansen as he gets out of a jam in the bottom of the 5th. And so 5 complete. Our score remains tied at 1, and we will be going back to the 6th inning, and I think I see the starter, Matthew Neighbor, coming out to pitch in the 6th. He's gone the whole way, only giving up 5 hits. And a real nice pitcher's duel here, folks. Great pitching action, high school, both pitchers pitching at a very high level. Great plays in the field, clutch hitting, but our score is still at 1. As Benilde takes the field to defend in the top of the 6th and due up for the Jaguars, or expected up for the Jaguars, in leading off is number 8, Ben Schmidt, the first baseman. He'll be followed by number 11, Ben Goddard, the catcher, and then Jack Mcguire, the second baseman. Those are batters 6, 7, and 8 to face Matthew Neighbor. Gone the whole way, only giving up 5 hits. And the sun is now behind the building. The lights are on. Still dusk, but a beautiful night. Kind of a cool, crisp mid-50s now, I would guess. When we started, it was sunny and 60. Very light winds. Okay, we're going to begin the top of the 6th, and the first pitch on a way, high and outside, ball 1. So 1-0 the count to number 8. Strike call. Ben Schmidt, the first baseman, looks at 1-1 count. And the pitch on a way, and he gets by the 3rd baseman, William Thompson, for a leadoff base hit here in the top of the 6th. Off of Matthew Neighbor, so great start here for the Jaguars with a leadoff base hit. Now stepping in is the number 7 hitter, Ben Goddard, as we look at that replay. And I did notice William Thompson was really playing off the line there to his detriment on that base hit. And that's the 6th hit for the Jaguars. And they are optimistic about their chances here in the top of the sixth as number 11 leans in. Ben Goddard's appearing to maybe attempt to bunt in hopes of advancing the runner into scoring position. On deck, number 3, Jack Mcguire, the second baseman. And the 1-0 delivery, and it's going to be a pickoff move, and not in time. That was easily telegraphed, as you could hear the Jaguar bench scream back. That's their job, is to help their batter and help their base runner with whatever's going on out there with a pickoff move. Okay, here is the look and the pitch, and that ball is bunted, and it's fielded in play, and the throw to second base in time, and what a great play by Benilde's catcher. Number 22, gunning him down. Evan Brown, the senior, takes him out to record out number 1, and that means, however, that the bunt attempt did not work, but reaching first base, of course, on the fielder's choice, if you're scoring at home, was Ben Goddard. So now up to bat with 1 out, and we're going to have a pinch runner for Goddard. Adam Wetmune, he did pinch run earlier, so apparently they have unlimited substitutions when it comes to that. When I used to play, once you were in, if you came out, you could not go back in, even in a pinch running situation. So maybe that's a rule change since when I played in ancient history. And that pitch is called a ball. So Mcguire 1-0, 1 out, runner on first. Doubt the Jaguars will try to bunt here. Ben Balch, the number 9 hit, ball is hit, and it gets through the hole at shortstop, and they get caught out of position. The infield, Shipley was playing way over, shading towards second base, and that slow roller got through the hole, and that is a base hit. Look at the positioning there. The third baseman is way over, even to a right hand. You can see Shipley was way behind second base, and that ball would have been an easy play. I'm not sure why they were playing that way with a right-handed hitter. That's looked very strange, to say the least. But now we have runners on first and second, 1 out, and up to bat is the number 9 hitter, Ben Balch, and he takes ball 1. So 1-0 the count. And once again, Matthew Neighbor finding some trouble here in the top of the 6th. With 1 out and 2 runners on, 1 runner in scoring position at second base, and the 1-0 pitch delivery. Down, called a strike. I will say this, the umpire has been calling that pitch consistently a strike, but that just looked, from my vantage point, below the knees. So the 1-1 delivery from Neighbor. And the curveball in the dirt, it gets away, and the runners are going to advance, and that is a costly error by Matthew Neighbor. So now with 1 out, a fly ball will score a run. And now there's going to be some interesting strategy decisions here. The number 9 hitter is on, runners on second and third, which mean the only force out for Benilde is at first base. The count is 2-1, and it is the number 9 hitter. So my guess is if you're the pitcher, you want to go after this guy and get a strikeout before you face the top of the inning. And there's a bunt, and they're going to squeeze him in, and the squeeze works, and the fielder's choice gets it out, but not before they squeeze him in. Scoring is Wetmoon, number 2, Adam Wetmoon in pinch running, and that bunt was executed perfectly by Ben Balch. He does get thrown out at first base on the fielder's choice for the second out. It does advance the runner to third, so now they have a 2-1 read as they get one across here in the top of the 6th with a chance to add 1 more with 2 outs. Runner on third, Matthew Neighbor from the stretch delivers strike at the letters. And up to bat is Quentin Morris, the center fielder, number 4, and their leadoff hitter. On deck is Zach Krug, the left fielder. Jaguars just get the lead here a moment ago on a beautifully executed bunt by Ben Balch. And now there's 2 strikes on Morris, the center fielder. Trying to get a clutch base hit for a commanding, I would say commanding 2-run lead here, especially considering it's been 1-1 through 5 complete. And that pitch, the curveball, misses outside. Evan Brown behind the plate, able to save that. So now, once again, the 0-2 delivery with 2 outs. Neighbor trying to get out of it, curveball. Outside, 1 ball, 2 strikes. On third base is number 3, Jack Mcguire, the second baseman. Critical time in the game here. 1-run lead now for the Jaguars. Pitch on away, swung on, base hit right to the second baseman, Rankin. It gets by him on the short hop. Misplayed, that's gonna score a run, and that's a clear air for Benilde. So once again, their defense costing him. And he kind of came in to play that, and then the ball kind of hopped on him and went over his shoulder right there, just over shoulder. So that will cost them a run, and at a critical time in the game here in the top of the 6th, and now that's gonna bring out the manager. And I do look down in the bullpen, and there was some activity down there. I don't know how many warm-up pitches were being thrown, and apparently there were enough, because now leaving the game is Matthew Neighbor, and he really did pitch a whale of a game here. Very impressive left-hander. Matthew Neighbor will be taken out of the game, and now coming in to pitch for Benilde is number 27. While we look up his name is Blake Mahmood. He's a junior. Comes in on relief here with 2 outs in the top of the 6th. After Benilde has given up 2 runs here, the last being on an error in the infield, scoring. The runner from third for the Jaguars, and now in to pitch the warm-up pitches is number 27. There he is, Blake Mahmood, the junior, coming in to mop up here in the top of the 6th. And the score is 3-1, with the Jaguars scoring 2 across here in the top of the 6th. Some fans out enjoying their phones together. The new American pastime. It's not just American, it's worldwide pastime. Let's get together and look at our phones. Yes, we all do it, me included. Paul Broden, our producer, never does, however. We're waiting for the relief pitcher, Blake Mahmood, to complete his warm-ups. And up to bat for the Jaguars, or expected up here, is number 4, Quentin Morris. No, it's number, let's see if I can see. It looks like we have a pinch hitter, perhaps. Quentin Morris is on third base, so another runner in scoring position on that bunt, or he's on first base, excuse me. He was just over talking to the third base coach. And stepping in, I think we have a pinch hitter. And it's number 17 now, into bat. Pinch hitting is Jack Mickelson.
Hitting for the Jaguars, number 17, Jack Mickelson.
So Mickelson steps in. The junior center fielder, second baseman, with Morris on the center fielder on first, 2 outs, and he will be pitch hitting for Zeke Krug, the left fielder, the number 2 slot in their lineup, now being occupied by number 17 for the Jaguars. Jack Mickelson steps in, runner on first, 2 outs. And a new pitcher in Mahmood, and his first pitch is in the dirt, ball 1. Game now over an hour and a half old. In this pitcher's duel, only 1 pitching change just coming now here in the top of the 6th with 2 outs, and the pickoff move gets over the head. Another error by Benilde, my goodness. And that is speedy Quentin Morris, the center fielder. He rounds second, and now we have another runner in scoring position. And a chance here for the pinch hitter. And Mahmood having trouble. one thing he didn't practice. They practice on the mound, but they don't practice over to first base. So now another runner in scoring position. 2 runs already in here in the top of the 6th with 2 outs, and he's going to steal third, and the throw is going to be not in time, and it goes into left field, and he's going to try and score, and it could be a close play, and the ball not in time as he comes in standing up, and more errors by the Red Knights are proving very costly. 2 consecutive errors. The throw, the ball from pitcher over the first baseman's head, and then that allows, look at that great camera angle as he comes sliding into third as well. And that throw allowed him to score all the way around from first base. Allows the Jaguars to have 3 runs here in the top of the 6th. The score is 4-1. And now nobody on. And Mahmoud up to bat, 2 outs, count 2-1 to the pinch hitter, and that got really close to his head. Clearly a ball, and the count now 3-1 to number 17, Jack Mickelson, pinch hitting in the number 2 slot. And that ball, and he draws a walk, so now the wheels are starting to come off here for the Red Knights. A couple of costly errors have led to runs, and now a base on balls. And that brings up Taylor Hansen, the starting pitcher and the number 3 hitter, the sophomore. Steps in with a chance to continue the damage here in the top of the 6th. On deck is the number 4 hitter, Bennett McCollum. So Jaguars taking advantage of the opportunities given to them. And now Hansen takes strike 1, 0-1, 2 outs here. Top of the 6th. Jaguars 6-2 in the conference, 6-5 overall, looking to go 7-5. The Red Knights 4-5. Coming into tonight, hoping to get back to 500 as Mamour checks the runner at first. Getting back though safely. It's number 17, Mickelson, and he's gonna steal second, and now the throw from Evan Brown is not in time. And the speedy Mickelson got to second base in lightning fast speed. No chance for Evan Brown on that throw, so now another runner in scoring position. Jaguars just playing a really great top half of the 6th from the batter's position is now Carter Hansen with 2 strikes, 2 outs, but another runner in scoring position. And the in-on relief for the Jaguars, Blake Mahmoud, trying to get his team out of the 6th without any more damage being done. And the 0-2 delivery swung on the curveball, and that ball's laced into right field, and that's going to be a base hit, and that's going to score the runner. And another taken advantage opportunity by the Jaguars on the Red Knights' errors. And just more and more trouble. I look out at the scoreboard, and they've got Benilde now down for 4 errors, and that may be not even, there might be another one in there. And there's that curveball and laced right into right field. Allowed the runner to score from second base, and all of this, folks, with 2 outs. They've got 4 across here in the top of the 6th. The score is 5-1, and that first pitch is ball 1 to the number 4 hitter, Bennett McClinton, the shortstop. Still trying to do more damage here in the top of the 6th. Mamour with the pitch on away, swung on and missed. Maybe foul tips, caught strike. So now 1-1 the count with 2 outs on deck for the Jaguars. Number 10, Matt Thorson, and that pitch is called a strike. So 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Still on second base, there's another steal for the Jaguars, and they got another runner in scoring position. Boy, they're just executing their game plan here. Stealing bases, getting in base running, clutch hitting, and now almost another pass ball, taking advantage of the numerous errors by the Red Knights. And much like the last game we did for the Red Knights against their crosstown rival, St. Louis Park, fielding errors cost them dearly. and they dropped that game to the Orioles, and the same theme is occurring here tonight. Without those fielding errors, they'd still be tied in this game at 1 apiece and maybe even have a lead. And there's a strikeout on the curveball. So finally, Memore ends the side, but not before the Jaguars get 4 across. And they lead 5-1 after 5.5 innings. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Only 6 outs left for the Red Knights. They're not completely out of it, but they've got their work cut out for them. And we'll see who's going to come out to pitch the bottom of the 6th. So far, it's been an impressive effort by Carter Hansen, the sophomore, having only given up 5 hits, a 5-hitter going, which is a very impressive effort so far. And we're waiting to see who's going to come out and pitch for the Jaguars. Due up for the Red Knights, though, is number 4, Nicholas Rank. He is the number 6 hitter, followed by Mccloskey, who was substituted for, and we do have a relief pitcher coming in for the Jaguars. Not a surprise this late in the game with a 5-1 lead. And that means Carter Hansen is taking over first base, and pitching now, the warm-up pitchers is Ryan Adams, number 9, the senior, in on relief for Carter Hansen. And Hansen has great numbers as he goes through 6 innings, giving up only 5 hits and 1 run. And he will now assume the duties at first base. And in to pitch, again, number 9, Ryan Adams, the senior, to try to close this game out here for the final 6 outs. As you can see, where you can find everything that you want to know about your city government, St. Louis Park, on Facebook. You can also find these broadcasts at ParkTV.org, not only for this channel, but the several other channels sponsored by the city of St. Louis Park, bringing all kinds of sports action from all the high schools, all the sports. Fall, winter, and now spring. Plenty of baseball, softball, and lacrosse. And that'll complete the warm-ups for Ryan Adams. So Adams in on relief. The senior will face the second baseman leading off the 6th, Nicholas Rink, followed by, I think, number 19, I see in the... Johnny Woodford is in for Mccloskey. So it will be Rank and Woodford, followed by Barr. And that first pitch is a strike. So great start for the relief pitcher, Ryan Adams. And the Jaguars are looking like a very good team here with a 6-2 conference record and having their way so far. And now another strike. So quickly down in the count is Nicholas Rank at 0-2. And calling time and stepping out, Nick Rank. And that pitch on away, ball 1. So 1-2 the count. And the temperatures are really starting to drop here. I'd say it's dropped at least 10 degrees. It's going to be a chilly night here, probably down to the upper 30s, and it is dropping. No wind, and that ball is struck, and a base hit gets by the diving shortstop, Bennett McCullough, unable to come up with it on the dive, so a good leadoff pitch there by Nick Rank. Leads off the 6th, so Benilde desperately needed a rally here. And now stepping into bat is the replacement first baseman, number 19, Johnny Woodford, the sophomore, with 1 on, nobody out here. Benilde looking for a rally. Rank takes a mediocre lead off first base. See what kind of move Ryan Adams in on relief for Carter Hansen. Hansen at first base, and that first pitch is in the dirt and inside, low ball 1. So before Adams was pitching from the windup, and now he'll be pitching from the stretch. Sometimes that can have an impact on how effective they are or can be. So Ryan Adams, the senior, just misses. Ball 2. Nick Rank, I think, can be a stealing threat as he gets a lead off first, but they really don't want to cause any unnecessary outs. They're down 4 runs. They need to get base runners and not get them out. They got to get some hits here. Stealing bases is not going to win this game at this point. Down 4 as Adams now way behind in the count with a runner on, nobody out. 3 balls, no strikes. The count to number 19, Johnny Woodford. My guess is he'll be taking all the way here. Benilde just needs base runners any way they can get them, and Adams knew he was taking all the way and delivers a nice easy strike right down the middle. So now the count 3-1, nobody out. Nicholas Rank on first base. The delivery swung on and hit really well, but foul way in front of that pitch with Johnny Woodford. He loved that pitch. Just couldn't wait on it enough to keep it fair. So now the count is back to full as Ryan Adams has worked his way back into this count. So with nobody out, runner on first, full count to Johnny Woodford. Taking his time, working much more slowly than the other pitchers that have pitched today. Hansen and Neighbor. Adams taking his time, and the runner goes on the 3-2 pitch, and he loses him to a walk. So now Benilde, just what they needed here in the bottom of the 6th. 2 runners on, nobody out. And here comes the manager for Bloomington, Jim Guess. He wants to have a word with his pitcher, Ryan Adams. They're giving up 2 base runners, and the whole infield will come in for a big committee meeting. And stepping up to bat next for Benilde is number 10, Ian Barr. So with nobody out, 2 runners on, they're just probably coming in to talk about what they want to do strategy-wise. They have a 4-run lead, and he's just discussing, you know, where they're going to do, just settle them down a little bit maybe, and just kind of talk about getting outs. They don't have to. It's okay if they let a runner score here. Right now, they just need to get outs. There's 6 outs from victory. They've got 2 runners on here, so not a bad move there by Guess, the coach, coming in there just to have a conversation, just to have a little bit of an interruption or an intervention, just to kind of shake it up a little bit, make sure everybody's doing okay. They've got a 4-run lead here. He does not want to let this one get out of hand here in the bottom of the 6th. And now Hansen coming up from first base. They're expecting a bunt, perhaps. Not holding on the runner on first base is Carter Hansen, who was the starting pitcher. So they're going to let Woodford. Now he backs up and plays behind him. So all kinds of different strategy going on in the outfield, or in the infield of the outfield for the Jaguars. As now the count is 2-0. So Adams now, after starting out pretty well, is now in a jam here, not recording any outs. 2 runners on, and now 2 balls already. To Benilde's number 10, Ian Barr, as he takes strike 1. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Ryan Adams rights the ship there by getting a strike across. Boy, Jaguars just want to get an out here. Things could get out of control just as fast as they did for Benilde in their top half of the 6th, and the delivery inside and having to get out of the way, Ian Barr. So Adams clearly having control problems here in the bottom of the 6th. Hansen, the first baseman, looking over, not holding on the runner. Pitch on away by Adams, swung on and missed, strike. So now the count is full, nobody out. Big pitches coming up here in this match, folks, if you're just joining us. Benilde gave up 4 in the top of the 6th, but now they find themselves with 2 runners on, nobody out. 3-2 count to Ian Barr. Swung on, and that's popped up. It's going to be fair. It's going to be short in the outfield. Coming up, and it drops. And there's an error, a lack of communication between the shortstop, McCullough, and that is Zeke Krug in left field. And that ball found some space, and now again, Jim Guest is coming out to talk to his pitcher. And Mccloskey sort of let up on it, and just a lack of communication. Mccloskey probably was in the best position to get that. And because it didn't appear Krug had any type of beat on that ball. And now Jim Guest, with his second visit in as many batters to the mound, has a problem here with bases loaded, and Adams is going to be given an early hook. So he comes in, faces 3 batters, gives up 3 base runners, and records no outs. And now we have our second pitching change of the night for the Jaguars. Coming into pitch in the bottom of the 6th with bases loaded and nobody out is Hunter Day, the junior pitcher, coming in to take warm-ups, the right-hander, being called upon to get the Jaguars out of trouble. So just as they got 4 runs in the top of the 6th, they now have bases loaded and nobody out with the tying run at the plate. And that is going to be number 7, Brady Yakish, the right fielder, the freshman, coming in to try to do some damage. This game is far from over, as you can see from the jackets. It's still pretty chilly out here, and today's May 10th, 2019. As we watch number 21 warm up here in the bottom of the 6th, Hunter Day. And Ben Guest now will come out. You got to think there's the manager coming off as he talks to Carter Hansen, who's his starting pitcher and now first baseman. And are they going to play the infield in? I would not play it in with a 4-run lead. They need outs. This is the game is all about outs now for the Jaguars. Get outs. And now Benilde, and a great opportunity to get right back in this match. Here's the right fielder, the freshman Brady Yakish, steps in with bases loaded in the first pitch by Day, called a strike, and consistent as he has been all night, that low pitch is being called for a strike. So you want to bring your 9-irons to the plate if you're hitting in this match. And the 1-0 delivery swung at and just flailing at it was Brady Yakish. Having a hard time catching up with that. So now no balls and 2 strikes. Hunter Day coming in here trying to shut the door on the Red Knights. Pitch on a way, swung on and hanging tough is Brady Yakish, extending the at-bat. So now 1 ball, 2 strikes. Big, strong right-hander, Hunter Day. Obviously, we don't have a gun to clock the speed, but his ball looks pretty hard, and he pitches quick, and Yakish turns out of the way. So now, just looking at the scoreboard, it was 1-2, and it still is 1-2. So I'm not sure how accurate that is, but we'll go with it. Bases loaded, nobody out, bottom of the 6th. Day, the pitch, in the dirt. Count now even, 2-2. Benilde needs to do some damage here with bases loaded, nobody out. This is their chance. Swung on and missed in a strikeout as Yakish flails at it. So nice job coming in with bases loaded. The junior Hunter Day for the Jaguars gets out number 1 on a strikeout, and now a little breath of relief there if you're a Jaguar fan. Getting that first out is so critical. Now they can play for a double play, force at any base, not feel so concerned about giving up a run. And now a pass ball, and now Jaguars having their trouble in the field with errors. They give up an unearned run. And Benilde gets their 2nd run. Runners advance to 2nd and 3rd. And that is a mistake after Hunter Day comes in and pitches really well. He gives up a run on a wild pitch, sabotaging that first at-bat with a strikeout. The junior now will try to keep his cool here. Now runners in scoring position at second and third. First base is open, and now the top of the order, Harrison Shipley, the shortstop. He's had a couple nice at-bats, nods his approval. That was a good pitch, he thought, from Hunter Day, who gets strike one. Count says 1-1. Still only one out here. Bottom of the sixth, one run across, and there's strike two. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to Harrison Shipley. Lots of room on that left field line. I can't believe how much room they're giving him down there. He pulled one down the left field line, and he swings at that curveball and misses. And that is strikeout number 2 here in the bottom of the 6th. And Hunter Day is now starting to put the hammer down here on the Red Knights. And now this is a critical at bat. The number 2 hitter, John Murnane, steps in, takes a ball. And in my estimation, just from listening and watching this Hunter Day pitch, he is the hardest pitcher we've seen tonight. Looks like Benilde having a hard time catching up with his fastball, and that next pitch is a curveball, and they check it and they wave it off, so he did not go around. Some of the Jaguar fans sitting around me vehemently disagreeing with that call. So 2-0 now, the count, 2 outs. Chance for Murnane with a base hit to get 2 more runs back to cut the lead to 1, and that pitch is also outside. So 3-0 the count. Is now Hunter Day showing being a little erratic here. Had a pass ball and 2 strikeouts. Now count is 3-0 to the number 2 hitter, Matt Murnane, and that pitch called a strike. Looked like Murnane was taking all the way. On third base for the Red Knights is Johnny Woodford, the sophomore. Teammate on second out there. And that pitch is outside, you can see it, and now he loads them up. So relief pitching struggling here for the Jaguars in the bottom of the 6th after getting 4 runs in the top of the 6th. They've given up 1, and now bases loaded. And stepping into bat is number 22, the number 3 hitter, the senior, the catcher, Evan Brown. Chance to show some real leadership here. Benilde desperately in need of a base hit here. They are running out of outs. They have 4 to go, 1 more in this inning, and then 3 more. This is their best chance to get back in this game on the scoreboard, and that first pitch by Day is a strike. So 0-1 the count to the catcher, the senior, Evan Brown. There he is, number 22, the right-hander. Lots of room on that third left field line still for him, and that curveball is called a strike. So Hunter Day now firmly in command here. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And that pitch is in the dirt. Nice job scooping that up for the Jaguars. Number 11, Ben Goddard's the sophomore, saving a run there. So that's ball 1, so 1-2 the count to Brown. Pitch on away, swung on, and fouled off. So staying alive is Evan Brown. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Great tension here at Benilde-St. Margaret's in this Metro West contest. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Score 5-2, swung on, and he went around. Ball dropped, and they're gonna tag him for the 3rd out, and that retires the side. Benilde does get 1 more run to cut the lead to 5-2, but they painfully leave bases loaded. And we will go to the final inning in the top of the 7th. Your score, 5-2. And coming out to pitch, we'll see who that is. The starter, Matthew Neighbor, went 5 innings. And then they went to the relief. And coming out now to pitch the 7th inning is number 27 for the Red Knights, Blake Mahmood. He struggled last inning, coming in on relief, partially responsible for that crooked number in the top of the sixth, that number 4. And Jaguars now will come up in the top of the 7th, trying to add to their lead, and leading off for the Jaguars will be number 10, Matt Thompson, the number 5 hitter. He'll be followed by the first baseman, Ben Schmidt, and then the catcher, Ben Goddard. So the number 5, 6, and 7 hitter, Matt Thorson, Ben Schmidt, and Ben Goddard due up for the Jaguars. They will face Blake Mahmood, the junior. No wind here at all. Beautiful dark skies now. Sun is completely set. Lights are on here. We're in the top of the 7th inning. Great baseball action. It was a pitcher's duel through the 6th inning, and then some errors. 4 errors by the Red Knights have really plagued them. It's almost impossible to win when you commit 4 errors, but Benilde's going to try to pull it out here in the bottom of the 7th, but first they've got to get out of the top of the 7th, and they'll try to do that starting right now. Blake Mahmood with the delivery, and that pitch is down and gets by the catcher. Nobody on, so no harm there, but 1-0 the count to number 10 for the Jaguars, Matt Thompson. Thompson is a junior, the right-hander against the right-hander, and that pitch strike handcuffs him. Inside corner, nice pitch there by Mahmood. 1-1 the count. No outs. And that curveball also misses and gets by the catcher, so Mahmood having a little difficulty, although really not a huge problem with nobody on base. So 2-1 the count here, nobody outs. And from the stretch, he delivers even though nobody's on, and he does deliver a strike, and that's that low strike that umpire has been calling. It's really not a problem as long as they're consistent. When I used to play, you just wanted consistency, because once you learned the strike zone, then you knew where it was, and then you knew how to adjust accordingly. So the consistency is a good sign, and that pitch also in the dirt, the 3rd one in this at bat. And now the count is full, 3-2. On deck is Hunter Day, the relief pitcher. The 3-2 delivery swung on and missed, strike him out. First strikeout in on relief for Blake Mahmood, so great start here to start the 7th. And now number 21, the junior, the relief pitcher, Hunter Day, comes up to bat with 1 out here. On deck is Ben Goddard. So Hunter Day into pinch hit for Ben Schmidt, the first baseman. As he takes strike 1, so no balls, 1 strike, and Nanur the delivery, strike 2. So good start here. With 1 out, nobody on, now 2 strikes to Hunter Day. Blake Mahmood pitches and strikes him out. Out number 2. So much different outcome here so far in the top of the 7th for Blake. Mahmood in relief, Mahmood, I should say, excuse me. And now he'll face number 11, Ben Goddard, the catcher, the left-handed hitter from the right-handed pitcher, and that ball also in the dirt by Mahmood. On deck for the Jaguars is number 3, John Mcguire, the number 8 hitter and the second baseman. Should Goddard's reach, and now he swings and misses. Count 1-1. Game now 2 hours old. We're now 2/3 of the way into the top of the 7th, and that pitch is inside, and having to get out of the way was Goddard's, lifting his left leg. 2-1 the count, 2 outs. Mahmood, the right-hander, to the left-hander, Ben Goddard. On deck is number 3, John Mcguire. Should he reach here with 2 outs? And that pitch just misses. Pitch looked pretty good from my vantage point, but now the count 3-1 with 2 outs. Hitter's pitch here. Mahmoud wants to get off that mound and get his team up to bat here in the bottom of the 7th. Pitch on away, strike call. And now the count is full. Ben Goddard thought he had a base on balls, but he called him back. And now the count is full with 2 outs and nobody on. And now a time called by the home plate umpire. Not sure if that was indicated by the batter, Goddard's, or if he did that on his own. Nevertheless, we're back and ready to go here. And now from the stretch with nobody on, 2 outs, Mahmoud. The delivery, swung on and missed, and he strikes him out, and he sprints off the mound. And now the Red Knights are down to their last 3 outs here in the bottom of the 7th after a 1-2-3 inning in the top of the 7th. We'll go to the bottom of the 7th, and Benilde's down 3 runs. Last inning, they had bases loaded and were only able to get 1 across. They got to get some base runners here in the bottom of the 7th. And they're playing Journey, Don't Stop Believing, and that's the kind of belief they need if they want to get back into this match tonight. Coming out to pitch for the Jaguars, in on relief, is still going to be Hunter Day. He came in and shut the door last inning, only giving up 1 run, even though he got bases loaded. And he will be facing number 5 to lead off the bottom of the 7th. Matthew Hansberry, the number 4 hitter, followed by William Thompson, the number 5 hitter, and Nicholas Rank, the number 6 hitter. So the heart of the order coming up for the Benilde-St. Margaret Red Knights. Hitters number 4, 5, and 6, Hansberry, Thompson, and Rank, to take on Hunter Day. The Jaguars, after tonight, they've got 2 road games against De La Salle and then a rematch with St. Louis Park. Then those are both on the road to downtown Minneapolis and across Highway 100. Then they've got Richfield at home. Then they're at Richfield for a doubleheader, probably a makeup game there from one of the early rainouts. Then they get Bloomington Kennedy at home, the crosstown rival of the Jefferson Jaguars, who are here tonight. Then they host the Chaska Hawks, then they're at Delano, and then they host a really good baseball town of Waconia on May 23rd. So now Matthew Hansberry is going to step in the bottom of the 7th. Hunter Day now trying to shut it out here and get the save and the victory. And his first pitch, high, ball 1. Didn't miss by much, and boy, that ball had some heat on it. Hunter Day throws hard. But that was a ball, and now ball 2. So you'd think you'd want your pitcher to come in and just start throwing strikes, especially with a 3-run lead. But now he's 2-0, and I would bet they're going to be taking on this pitch. And no, a curveball swung on and fouled off by Matthew Hansberry. Hansberry just trying to reach here, get some base runners with nobody out here in the bottom of the 7th. Day with the delivery, swung and missed. And it looked like he pulled his head, the batter that is. Looked like a tight little curveball by Hunter Day, and now he is ready to go with a 2-2 count. And swung on and staying alive, getting his bat on the ball. A lot of these players in this league, last Saturday, watched St. Louis Park player, can't remember his name, keep a bat alive. He was 1 and 2 in the count and able to get himself a walk, proved to be the winning run. And that's a strike call. Good start for Hunter Day as he catches the batter looking. So Matthew Hansberry, the senior, goes down looking on strike. So great start for the Jaguars. with one out in the bottom of the 7th. Now stepping into bat, number 28, the junior William Thompson, the third baseman, trying to extend this game. First pitch by Day in the dirt. So ball 1. Second pitch, strike 1. So 1-1 the count. And that pitch is swung on, fouled off. One ball, 2 strikes, 1 out here. Pitch by Day, swung on, check swing, but he makes contact, and Day picks it up and beats him to the first base to record out number 2. Great athletic play there by Hunter Day as he gets off that mound and beats the speedy number 28, William Thompson. And now it's 2 outs, nobody on, and the Red Knights are up to their last out. As stepping in to bat is the second baseman, the junior Nicholas Rink. Trying to keep the game alive. Hunter Day looking for the save here. Pitches, strike 1. Good start by Day. No balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. The Red Knights do go down tonight. They're gonna have to look at their fielding. That's the second game I've seen where their fielding has really cost them. They've got to work on those fundamentals in the field. You can't give away games with errors, and that pitch is fouled up, and it's just going to be out of play. Back and to the right of home plate, and now that's 2 strikes, and we're potentially down to the last pitch of the game and the last chance for the Red Knights. They came in at 4-5, trying to get to 500 on the year overall, but facing a very good Jaguars team. That ball's in the dirt from Hunter Day. So 2-2 the count, 2 outs, bottom of the 7th. Nick Rink swings on and gets a piece of it, fouls it off to the right. Stays alive, count remains 2-2. And that pitch swung on and missed, and Hunter Day strikes him out, and that ends the bottom of the 7th for the Red Knights, and that is the end of the game as Hunter Day strikes out Nick Rink. And so your final score from Benilde-St. Margaret's, the Red Knights go down 5-2. They go to 4-6. Jefferson goes to 7-5. So for Paul Broden, our producer, everyone connected with ParkTV 16 Sports, I'm Robert Christensen. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again.